Welcome everyone to my series called The Unspoken Truths of Great Raid Leading. It's time to get excited. Today I'm going to talk to you about who I am, what my goals are for this series, my first experience being a raid leader, and the importance of taking initiative, forming alliances, being competent, and showing strength in weakness. So first, who I am. So I have been a guild leader in Classic World of Warcraft for over a year now, and I turned a guild of 20 members into a guild of over 1,500 members, and I manage every single one of those people. I am also a software engineer team lead. I decided to become a guild slash raid leader because I wanted to hone my leadership skills to progress my career as a software engineer team lead. So I thought, why not have fun in a safe environment and practice leadership at the same time? So my goals for this series are that, number one, I want to give you a resource to become a better leader so that you may reach your goals with your team. Number two, I want to help you avoid the common pitfalls that leaders make. And then number three, I want you to feel proud to put the title raid leader on your resume. Now, you might think that that's funny, but these skills I'm going to teach you will not only help you in raid leading, it will help you to be a better supervisor or manager as well. Just imagine your next interview when the interviewer sees the title raid leader on your resume. I bet they look at your resume and say, who is this person? I have to learn more about them. Then when you go to that interview, you will give them the most interesting interview they have ever had. So my initial experiences, and the first one being taking initiative. So why is that important? Well, so I started out day one in Classic WoW and decided I was going to try to level to 60 as fast as I could. After a couple days or so, I decided to join a guild, and that guild had around 20 members at the time. It took me about 3 to 4 days to get to max level, and when I got there, it was then time to do the first raid before the reset. And so none of the guilds had enough people because you needed 40 people of level 60 to do the raid. So no one had enough people, and so everyone was just pugging it, going into trade chat and trying to find people. So we ended up getting a raid, and the raid leader that led that raid was amazing. They've done a lot of vanilla WoW, and so they knew all the strategies, and clearly that they've been raid leading for quite some time. So we were actually, even in greens and blues, we were one of the world's first groups to down Ragnaros. We did it right in the first week. So then the second week rolls around, and I'm still in that guild, and we have that originally had the 20 members, and now we had somewhere around 400 members at the time, and so, but not very many of them were level 60 yet. So we probably had around 10 level 60s at the time, and so I decided, I need, no one's here to step up because the guild leader is not level 60 yet, and none of the officers are either. So someone has to step up if we're going to make this guild actually start raiding. And so I took the initiative, not knowing anything about raid leading or leading a guild or anything, and decided to try it out. So I looked around for other alliances that I could be building, and so that's my second point, is forming alliances is extremely important because you never know when you may need their assistance. So never ever ever burn bridges. So I looked around for other alliances to be able to do the raid, and so I ended up finding two other guilds to work together to complete that raid. So I raid led with one of the other guild leaders of those other guilds, and we ended up again killing Ragnaros. So then the third week comes around, and those other two guilds then had enough members to do their own raid, but we still only had 30 level 60s, so we still couldn't fully do it on our own. So I ended up hugging the rest, and that was my first time going into that raid. So that's my third point is, just being competent. You need to be competent to lead people. Otherwise, they are not going to follow you. They're going to see right through you and it's all going to fall apart. And so at the time, I felt that I was still competent because you don't need years and years of experience to become competent in something. So at that time, that was my third raid. So I had two raids before that to understand the strategies and understand kind of how to raid lead. So I took the reins, I took the initiative, and I pushed forward. And that raid humbled me because it showed me, we went in there with greens and blues, and we ended up not killing Ragnaros. So at the time, I've already killed Ragnaros twice, and now this week we're not going to kill him because we're kind of on our own, and I'm doing the raid leading at that time. So I saw that I had a long way to go to become a really good raid leader. Now, at that moment, I could have, when we didn't kill Ragnaros, I could have shown my frustration. And I was extremely frustrated at the time because, like I said, I've already killed Ragnaros multiple times, and this is the third week, and now we're not killing Ragnaros, and we have better gear than we originally had going in. So I could have shown my frustration, but what that would have done is that would have allowed other people to also voice their frustrations, and that would have led to a negative spiral effect. And these small interactions, while they might seem small, there are the reasons that some guilds succeed and some guilds break apart. Because it is very easy for, if we didn't down Ragnaros, to everyone to start getting frustrated about it and be like, we could all go to better guilds and we could down Ragnaros, while I bet other guilds were having the same problem as us as well. But I didn't show my frustration. Instead, I said, everyone, great job. We all worked our butts off, and we got really far this week. So everyone should be proud of that, and let's move forward and try to get them next week. So I tried to paint it in a positive light, and that worked out really well. Some people were still frustrated, but they didn't really voice it out loud at the time, which is, a good thing. And everyone, it made the morale feel really good, which, morale is a very important thing to keep high. So that was my first experience as being a raid leader, and I plan on making more of these videos going over different experiences I had and giving you some key takeaways that I learned in them. So again, in this one, the key takeaways are, taking the initiative. You may not feel ready to be a raid leader, but as long as you have the drive, now is the best time. Just do it. And then forming alliances, you need to make friends with people because you never know whenever you're going to need them. Through even like a year later, there were times still where that other guild, we ended up helping each other. So if I would have burned that bridge or never formed that alliance, it would have made my life a lot harder later on into the game, into Classic WoW. And then, being competent, we discussed, you just need to understand it, at a base level of what you're talking about. If don't try to pretend that what you're talking about, because people are going to see right through you, but just at least have like a base competency, and you'll be fine. And then also, showing strength and weakness, just don't get frustrated. Don't show your frustration in comms, while you're talking to people, because it will turn into a spiral effect. So thank you very much for watching this, and I hope to see you in the next video.